Hi everyone, I hope you're doing good. I'm taking a quick ride. I need some fresh air, guys. I'm going to read a little bit of Jubilees, chapter 8 and 9, because in my prior vid, I was referencing the area of Susa, and it actually referenced a little bit of the book of Jubilees, to show a little bit of historical context. So I'm going to park near the park, so to speak. It's raining. I hope you're all doing well. I'm having such an awful day. There's a lot of evil energy going on. Don't be dissuaded, okay? Because I just got screamed at. People are just so crazy. So much emotional abuse between people going on, and it's still abuse, you know, when someone is screaming and it reverberates, right? It really gets to you. So I needed a little bit of air. And so I will not be dissuaded. I love putting up little tidbits like this. So when I was reading from Susa, that area, that region in Iran, it was so cool just to see it all come together. So I wrote down Jubilees, chapter 8, verse 21, and the area of India comes up. It's just really cool, like, to see a lot of these groups, you know, just what happened with Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Like, we all are descendants, you know, regardless of, you know, your shade, right? We all, you know, descended from them, basically. And a lot of people already talked about how a lot of ancient areas were in Asia and, you know, not just Africa, right? So the name Susa came up, the name, because, you know, I was telling you guys how that's also a very popular Portuguese last name too. So let's see. If you don't have the book of Jubilees, let me try to turn this bad boy around. The book of Jubilees, because even on Wikipedia, so if people think, oh, you're using Wikipedia, it's not valid. Well, we're going to read a little bit. What did it say? 821. And it does correlate, guys, with what we read. Okay, and this is a very verifiable source. Of course, one of the books taken out due to yours truly, the Vatican, and all of them. So it says in 21, and he knew that a blessed portion and a blessing had come to Shem and his sons unto the generations forever. The whole land of Eden, the east, and India, and on the Red Sea and the mountains thereof, and all the land of Bashan, and all the land of Sinir and Ammana, and the mountains of Ashur in the north, Midi or Midii, and all the mountains of Ararat, and all the region beyond the sea, which is beyond the mountains of Ashur toward the north, a blessed and spacious land. And in it is very good. And for Ham came forth the second portion beyond the Gihon toward the south to the right of the garden, and it extends toward the south, and it extends to all the mountains of fire, and it extends toward the west to the sea of Atel, and it extends toward the west till it reaches the sea of Ma'uk, that sea into which everything which is not destroyed descends. And it goes forth toward the south to the limits of Gadir, and it goes forth to the coast of the waters of the sea, to the waters of the great sea, till it draws near to the river Gihon, and goes along the river Gihon till it reaches the right of the Garden of Eden. And this is the land which came forth for Ham, as the portion which he was to occupy forever, and for himself and his sons unto their generations forever. And of course, a lot of places have been invaded and people have been displaced. And you got Japheth had his portion beyond the river. Is that Tina? So you get the name Tina, to the north of the outflow of its waters, and it extends northeasterly to the whole region of Gog, and to all the country east thereof, and it extends northerly to the north, and it extends to the mountains of Gelt toward the north, and toward the seas of Ma'uk, and it goes forth to the east of Gadir, as far as the region of the waters of the sea, and it extends until it approaches the west of Farah, and it returns toward Apharag, and it extends easterly to the waters of the sea of Mi'ak. What's that other verse 2? 9:2. So 9:2 is right here. So just to give more credence to what we read earlier, okay, it shows all the divisions of the lands. And when we were reading the area Susa, this verse was referenced. So, and Shem also divided amongst his sons, and the first portion came forth for Elam and his sons to the east of the river Tigris, till it approaches the east, the whole land of India, and on the Red Sea on its coast, and the waters of Dedan, and all the mountains of Mibri, and Elah, and all the land of Susan, and all that is on the side of Farnok, to the Red Sea and the river Tina. And for Ashur came forth the second portion, all the land of Ashur and Nineveh. Find that really cool, guys, all the divisions. And of course, you got to check out a lot of these maps too, because you know, sometimes they're oriented. You know, some people already have said that sometimes east will really be north, right? When you rotate it 90 degrees. So I'm not saying, hey, you know, it's the current maps that are out right now kind of thing, right? But it's just, it lends more credence to what I was reading earlier, because we went into some of the history. I mean, this just went into, you know, I started from one point and I went into another point, and it was just cool. This is just for anybody who cares about biblical history. A lot of people in these churches are not going to hear about the book of Jubilees or Jasher or any of the books that were taken out because it had way too much information, like Enoch. You know, who doesn't love Enoch? I love that book too. Love the stories in there. And Jasher gives more of an understanding, and it gives more of an elaboration to a lot of the stories in the Old Testament. So I just thought that was fascinating. It goes to show, if you use Wikipedia, it's okay, because they're gonna source references. And I was going into it earlier that a lot of these modern movies, nothing is new, nothing new under the sun. They take from biblical stories, actual historical legends, tales, folklore, and they make you think it's something new. No way. They're talking about different tribes that move around, that had to migrate. There were, you know, a lot of things that happened in history were not in our original land, right, guys? I mean, and you think about it, you know, when the Most High made everything, everybody had their portion. Nobody should be fighting over space. Everyone should just, you know, have the land that their ancestors were promised and stuff, and whatever can be done, right? But they send us here. There's supposed to be a new system for people here, that after so many years of service and servitude, you're supposed to get a little spot or whatever, right? So it's up to the Most High. You know, we know this land is being destroyed every day. So as long as your person is healthy, make sure you're mentally in a good place and away from anyone who is trying to disturb your peace, because there is a lot of people being stirred up. Not everyone, even in the same household, is going to be really spiritual and connected with the Most High. You know what I mean? So we're being tested right now, guys. Be strong. Like, you know, a lesser woman would be like getting in her feelings right now. And I just made a quick vid to put you guys on to some of the verses that I showed in my last vid. And we're just going to keep on the truth. The Most High has awakened us to spread a message, and we're not going to let anybody hold us back. So thank you so much, and have a great day.